On today's show, the gales of November churn up an angry Lake Superior. Split Rock's beacon comes to life on the haunting anniversary of the Edmund Fitzgerald wreck. This famous Minnesota musician finds harmony in wildlife habitat. And frostbite cannot keep these birders from their favorite day of the year.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hi everybody, Bill, Millie and I welcome you to Minnesota Bound.
Up first today, the lake we call Superior. It is a giant and it gives us so many unbelievable stories. Thing is, what the lake gives, it can take too.
That's exactly why on November 10th at Split Rock Lighthouse is a somber day.
Wicked are the gales of November. Storms made famous by a single infamous day. November 10th, 1975. Exactly why Hayes Scriven today
don't lose your hat, Nick.
bundles up to run. The Split Rock Lighthouse Keeper preps for one of the site's busiest nights on a weather-pounding Lake Superior day.
The waves just like way worse. Those are huge.
People start flowing in around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It usually numbers somewhere around 1,000 people.
It's a draw for a lot of folks. A lot of them have been coming here for 10, 20 years.
Don't lift it on your own.
Well, I've been an interpreter here for 40 years. This is my 40th season.
Good work, man.
I think in 40 years I might have missed 6 of these events.
This is the bell that'll go out for the ceremony. That we ring 30 times for the crew of the Fitz, and then one for all the other guys that didn't make it.
The Fitz. Once the biggest of all Great Lakes freighters. Launched June 7th, 1958. For 17 years, the grand ship hauled Minnesota iron ore to faraway ports. On November 10, 1975, the Fitzgerald lumbered out of Superior Harbor, her belly full of 26,000 tons of cargo.
1900, he was approximately 15 miles.
29 crew members worked diligently as the ship headed north and east into a fierce late fall storm.
They report that they've heard nothing of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
The Fitzgerald disappeared from radar at roughly 7:15 p.m.
It has been 47 years since the Edmund Fitzgerald went down on her final voyage across Lake Superior. While the Edmund Fitzgerald is the best known shipwreck on Lake Superior, she's the most recent to occur with the loss of life.
So tonight what we're doing is we're honoring the crew of the Edmund Fitzgerald here at Split Rock. We'll muster their roster for the night, and that involves ringing a bell when the sailor's name is called.
We will now muster the last watch of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Edward E. Binden, First Assistant Engineer. Thomas D. Borgeson, A.B. Nathan. Captain Ernest M. McSorley.
say, Ed. It's about 40, 50 mile an hour gale force, so that's right about half of what the men on the Fitzgerald would have been experiencing.
The storm that sank the Fitz, that was twice that.
I wouldn't want to be on the boat no matter how big it is during weather like that.
And then we turn on the beacon in honor of the Fitz as well. You do really realize quickly that it's not a happy event. It's definitely a somber thing. You're remembering these 29 guys that lost their life. To see it and to feel it, it's a different experience than you think.
This is a humbling event. It's a spiritual event. There's 29 men still at the bottom of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and if it means we can stand outside for a little bit for them, it's nothing. It's nothing for what they had to go through.
The least we can do is, ring a bell and turn the light on for them.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems, VMC Hooks, Ice Castle Fish House and RV, and by the Florida Keys and Key West.
Hunting and conservation go hand in hand. Travis Frank met one Minnesotan who hopes to further a conservation effort through his music.
There's a rhythm in nature that lures hunters into the field.
We're actually on the spot where Herbeck retrieved his first pheasant.
Dave Simonette finds harmony in wildlife habitat.
I kind of treat it as like recuperation. I love my job. I love doing it, but it's a lot.
Dave's the lead singer and songwriter for the band Trampled by Turtles.
It's hectic and it's emotionally intense and all of those things, and then to kind of go to the other side of the coin and come out here and walk with dogs and go bird hunting is exactly how I kind of come back down to earth.
Dave's passion to spend time in wild places took a turn when he met Pheasants Forever's Bob St. Pierre.
I started bird hunting pretty much because of Bob. It was like a mentorship, so I didn't grow up in it. And then it had never really crossed my path.
Bob taught Dave how to hunt.
He did his hunter safety backstage during concerts on tour. He'd be texting me like, yeah, I'm almost done.
When Dave bought a hunting license, he turned his rescue dog Herbeck into a bird dog.
And obviously, it doesn't really look like what most people think of as a bird dog. But I feel like it's a really good partnership for me because I'm not really a traditional bird hunter either. It's become really one of the best additions to my life that I can remember.
To show his appreciation, Dave found a way to give back.
He asked, what can I do to help Pheasants Forever? Kind of came to him like, well, I got this membership concept. We create a t-shirt that takes from Trampled by Turtles imagery, become a Pheasants Forever member, and you get this shirt. We've called it Trampled by Pheasants. And the thing sort of exploded.
It gives me a little bit of a platform to talk about Pheasants Forever and their conservation work.
In return, member support helps Pheasants Forever and Quail Forever put more habitat back on the ground.
Good boy, Herbie, come here. Here, no bird.
It's just a really fun way to open up conservation to an audience that maybe didn't know how relevant we are and important we are to kind of the natural world.
Today's hunt reminds us just how quickly quality habitat can lead to abundant wildlife.
Hand! Found him. Boy, Hen City. No bird, her back here.
This piece here is about 155 acres. It was a reclaimed gravel pit that we purchased after it was reclaimed.
Nice buck.
With help from his friends, Matt Kaharski turned this old pit back into a prairie.
Coming your way! I mean, it was right there. Nice big rooster. It's way over there now. Nice shot. All right, Bob. It's a monster.
That's what it looks like when you get one, you know.
His was much easier of a shot than mine.
Oh, okay. Flushing wild birds in Matt's rebuilt prairie fuels our passion to fight for wild places.
Hen! Good boy, Herbie dog. That's a big mama.
2 birds?
Yeah, Minnesota daily double.
There you go.
That's gorgeous.
Natural world, but also the kind of the people that are fighting to keep it a natural world, you know? That like mission has become very important to me. Hey!
Good dog, Herb. You're a bird dog, buddy.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. Harmony in habitat.
You couldn't script it any better.
A fitting title when hunters get trampled by pheasants.
Still ahead, a late fall day on the river means a view to remember. But first, the story of animals that hibernate right here in Minnesota.
Closed captioning provided by Star Bank.
We all know that Minnesota's longest season is winter, and some of Minnesota's critters choose to sleep the entire season.
Yeah, Ron Chair decided to take a look at hibernation to see who sleeps now and who gets up, well, a little bit early.
As winter comes to Minnesota, across prairies and woodlands, many creatures aren't stirring. They're in a long winter's nap. Hibernation is what we call it. Black bears do it, right? But hibernation has many definitions. So, no, our black bears don't really hibernate. Bears sleep lightly. Ask Goldilocks. A Minnesota chipmunk, however, is a hibernator of a different sort. It's called torpor. When autumn gives way to colder temperatures, chipmunks enter a state of sleep. Heart rate drops and breathing slows from 60 breaths a minute to 20 per minute. Body temps decline from 100 degrees to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Yikes. Yet chipmunks will occasionally wake up during winter and eat food gathered and stored weeks earlier. Hence, their way of winter survival is called torpor. A close relative, tree squirrels, also do not hibernate in the truest sense of the word. Rather, on cold days, squirrels may sleep as much as 20 hours a day. So what triggers animals, including insects, to enter a state of hibernation? Scientists say declining food supplies and decreasing daylight are the triggers. Back to Minnesota's black bear tales. While in a form of hibernation, a female bear may give birth and nurse her young. She doesn't eat or drink for months. Yet she's alert enough in her den to protect her young from danger. Now what about birds? Birds do not hibernate. Most bird species migrate to warmer climes to survive winter. Yet, some birds don't depart as evidenced at the bird feeder. Consider the common chickadee, a frequent visitor to bird feeders. How does such a tiny, fragile creature cope with weeks of Minnesota winter? chickadees maintain a body temperature of 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, this means feeding almost constantly on short winter days. At night, the body temp drops as much as 18 degrees to conserve energy. Keep in mind, not every chickadee survives. They die alone, unseen. Fortunately, enough survive to sing the well-known chickadee song, Phoebe, Phoebe. It's a mating call to warm every heart. By the way, wildlife scientists believe hibernation may also slow the aging process in us. It may explain. Lots of us wouldn't mind sleeping through the winter.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Heat Hog, Radco Truck Accessories, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Okay, it's time for a party of sorts. People get together along the Mississippi River often to catch a view of many of North America's most majestic birds. You're invited too, as long as you can handle the cold. Long after Minnesota's milkweed goes to seed, life slows down with the cold. If you ever drive Highway 61 along Minnesota's Mississippi River, watch for marker 147. See it, and you'll find a party. Something's up.
So today we're here celebrating Waterfowl Observation Day.
It's usually the second or third weekend of November.
We get about 20% of the northeastern population of tundra swans that are moving through the refuge, and of course you can hear their chorus today. The party has started.
Birds of a feather get together to try and catch an up-close and fairly personal peek.
Take a peek, Bev.
Even at just 8 degrees above zero.
Everybody's nose is drifting, but we stick with it. Can't resist.
People gather at this roadside stop to look at birdie life in the Upper Mississippi River National Refuge.
It's rare to see such masses of birds, such numbers of them.
They're hungry, but they're here to rest and feed. This is Tundra Central in November.
Terry Greer geared up with fancy camera lenses and a big spotting scope.
And binoculars, of course. So I have everything. It's one of the great migrations of the country, and very few people know about it.
There's just so much to see in one small space.
This is Deke. This is my favorite lab. He's a fixture here. People recognize him from other years. Dekey.
It's just fun to see so many birds that you just don't normally see in Minnesota.
I like the sound. It's kind of a comforting sound, even though it's noisy. They're amazing to watch and listen to.
So, next November, listen for the birds. Look for the crowd. It's a little piece of Christmas early in November.
I always think of it like that package that I've ordered that is finally arriving. It's a fun celebration to look forward to every year.
This is the place to be in November to see swans.
Lots of cold fingers and maybe some frostbite on that day.
Absolutely. Even so, that crowd is so passionate about watching the birds.
Well, that about does it for us. We hope to see you back here next week.
In the meantime, Millie, what do we always say? Remember to introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433.